What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession.
I'm Mike Stadler.
I'm Carl Betke. Mikey, we got a question here.
Yes, sir.
It says you guys talk about morning and evening stands in a lot of podcasts. How do you decide if a stand is morning or evening or an all-day stand? James asked that question.
Which part do you want to start?
Let's go with morning stands first.
Morning stands. How do I decide what's a morning stand?
Early morning, October 20th.
So here's what I'm going to say. The biggest thing is, so your morning stand can't be in the food.
Correct.
Because that's where they're going to be. So that's one variable. I like my morning stand to be in between food and bedding.
Yep.
Something that I can access, obviously, without going through the food. I have to be able to get around it. I have to have the wind not blowing back towards the food.
Yep.
You know, ours work out pretty good because the stands that we hunt in the morning, the thermals raise everything up.
Yeah, we have elevation.
So our scent is not that I'm not saying the scent isn't crucial, but the scent isn't as crucial there because with the thermals going up, everything's going up.
Yep.
So you're pretty safe in the mornings. So I like to be in between food and bed, something I can access, and primarily I got to get back out.
Yes.
I got to be able to get out without not going back through that bedding area where they're all going to be back around me.
Right, but you can get out through with the area where the food is.
But I can go back out through the food.
Yep.
So, that's how we set our stands.
100%. That's the easiest way, easiest explanation. The other, without using the food as a statement, the other thing for me, more pre-rut and rut, is morning stands where I know they're transitioning to check bedding areas. So, like Mike said, we have elevation change in our properties. So here at Mike's place,
That's when we get our saddles.
right, saddles, any points that might come out to a point, deer like to transition on that edge, on that point. Usually on the downwind edge, based off of what direction the wind is coming from, just so you're aware. And again, like Mike said, mornings because of the thermals is lifting your scent up. Also, never, ever, ever let that scent drift into the bedding area. You're going to feel, as the day progresses on, so let's just say this is an example, pre-rut example, is all of a sudden it hits that 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock point, your thermal's no longer raising.
Yeah, it's starting to drop back down.
Start to drop or goes more with wind direction or whatever. At that point, you've got to get out of that stand.
Yeah, that's always kind of been our staple too. That 9:30, you got to get out. Start to get out of there.
Yep, especially if you, for some reason, I would not hunt a pre-rut transition early. This is be more like pre-rut stuff, that's what I'm saying. That 9:30, 10 o'clock time, getting out of there.
Yeah.
Early season, I'll be honest, for me, I'm not a big morning hunter in the early season.
Me either.
Gotten away from it quite a bit. I just think you can educate your deer too much and ruin it for later in the year.
Yeah, we got away from it now.
Yeah. In the swamps, it was a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of good morning sits, so
Yeah.
some really great opportunities in the mornings. But we were back so far, most people would quit hunting by the time this deer were coming into the back area.
Yeah.
That one big 10-pointer you shot,
Yeah.
that was, God, they didn't get to us till 9:30.
Yeah, it took a
or 10
while for
o'clock.
them to get back to where they were going.
But that food was way across the swamp.
Yep, for sure.
So, and knowing your deer will help you do that too. Evening sits. Evening sits are basically transition from bed to food, or even right on the edge of the food and in the food. In general, whitetails feed 5 times a day. Their big feeding times are obviously nighttime, where they're in their destination food plots or big plots or cornfields or alfalfa fields or whatever. And they'll feed, twice daily in their bedding areas, get up, roam around.
Yeah, at least twice.
Yeah, maybe 3 times.
Depending on the weather, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's the other part too.
Yeah. If it's colder, they're going to eat more.
Yeah, and weather is a big one. But in the evenings, like I said, we have transition from bed to food. So again, in the evening, what happens is you get the downdrafts from the thermals. So on the hillsides, like my place, if I don't have like a 6 to 8, well, I don't even say 6, 8 to 10 or 12 mile an hour wind from a certain direction, all that scent, because the thermals are so strong, drops down the valley and turns and goes straight west.
Yeah.
Even if I've got a west wind. So if we're hunting level 1 or level 2 on my property, you can count on at the very last half hour for sure that your scent is going from east to west.
Yeah.
No matter where you are on those lower levels, whether it be level 1, level 2, or even level 3 this year, because we changed it a little bit. So thermals, knowing your thermals are very important in the evening. Knowing your wind direction, count on everything dropping. I'm hunting, not getting too close to their bedding area, but I'm hunting closer to the food at that point.
Yeah, and the evenings too, it's going to be, whether it be your place, my place, wherever, you're going to hunt that food. You're not going through the bedding area to get there now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get away with in the morning. When I say go through the bedding area, I don't mean you're going through the bedding area, but
right.
Close to going around it. Like here, our bottom kill plot, which is some of our favorite to hunt, you're not getting in there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. You can get in there in the evening, but now you got to watch what your wind is getting in there in the evening, by which way you're going to go. You're going to go straight down and in through the trail, or you're going to go all the way out and around in the field to get in. It's going to very well depend,
right?
Where those deer are going to be.
100%.
Because they're going to be bedded now.
Yeah.
So you got to get around it somehow to get into the food, but you got to make sure you can get out.
Right.
You always got to make sure you get in and get out.
Yeah.
As safe as possible.
So that spot down there where Mike's talking right now, I mean, he could get there in 5 minutes if he walked right straight through everything.
Yep.
But if he did, he'd never see a deer.
No.
So now he's got to spend 35 to 40 minutes walking way around the outside of his property, all the way back around, just to make sure he doesn't get any scent blowing into that location to the bedding areas and educating his deer walking right by him. So that's a big one on that. As for all-day sits,
All day sit, Carl.
we do not sit in the same stand all day ever.
No.
When they say, when we refer to an all-day sit, when you guys hear us refer to an all-day sit, we're in one stand in the morning, and then we'll transition to a midday stand, from, like I said, that 9:30, 10 o'clock time, to probably 2 to 2:30, maybe, probably 2 to 2:30. At that point, we're getting out of that stand and transitioning to an evening stand. That's an all-day sit for us, 3 different stands. I've seen, and I'll be honest with you, I've seen 0 stands that I would just sit in all day and consider myself safe and not educating deer.
Yeah.
I have seen 0.
Yeah, we've talked about it in some of our other podcasts. I know we've talked about the all-day sit before, so we like certain ones in the morning.
Yep.
And even like late, 11 o'clock's the cutoff for that.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever sit past then.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we're getting into our rut hunting, and we're moving. We got a plan. Like either we're moving locations, like properties, or we're coming out, reassessing, going back in at a certain time when we know we need to be in, X stand at this time.
Remember, you guys, your number one asset in the fall, well, during the pre-rut and rut, is not educating the deer you're trying to hunt. Okay, so your entrance and exit is your number one thing, 100%.
That's why we've talked about early too. Less is more. We tend to stay out early.
Yeah.
Unless we know, and I don't say for 100%, but we know that our chances are high to take
Yeah.
something at a certain time and
That's
because
true.
of a front or pictures or, you know.
And we're not saying we're not hunting.
Yeah.
We're still hunting, don't get me wrong, but we'll hunt
Yeah, just,
edges, yeah, observation stands, positions. We're going to see deer, but we're educating ourselves for what we think is probably the best opportune time to shoot the bigger deer we want to shoot.
Yes.
Trying to chase them. So, I mean, morning stands, food to bed, evening stands, bed to food.
bed to food, yeah.
And pretty simple how that lays
Yeah,
out.
and just always know your entries and your exits. That's your biggest thing
Yeah.
for any stand on any property, doesn't matter where you are.
The one thing I'll add is the rut shoots everything to shit.
Yeah, it changes.
Yeah, I mean, they'll follow general patterns. And you've heard us say it before too on other podcasts. We're in the rut, we're hunting does.
Yep,
100% hunting the does because that's where the bucks are going to be.
yep.
And there's definitely different stages of the rut. We talked a couple podcasts back. The rut starts in September. As soon as the velvet's off, the rut's starting. Because their hormones are changing. Their testosterone is changing. The bucks are getting more aggressive. The does are getting closer to estrus. You'll see dominance fighting between the does pretty much all summer. And then when the bucks start to come into play, then it's another add-on for that.
Yeah, those bucks push and spar around a lot too.
Yeah.
More the young ones,
Right.
but it's because they're going through something they don't understand as much yet.
Yeah, they'll try and play with.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You get a good buck into the field or into the bedding or into the feeding area. You'll get a good buck in there, and then the little bucks will walk up to him and try and push on him, and you'll be able to tell 9 times out of 10 it's already established.
Yeah.
That big deer will just turn at him, look, and lay the ears back just a little bit. That buck's the little guy's like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
I'm good.
Oh,
I can go eat over here.
yeah, I'm gonna move someplace else. But just you have to distinguish that too. You gotta have morning and evening set.
Yeah,
You gotta have morning and evening stand. There's stands that you cannot hunt
Yeah.
in the evenings. There's stands you cannot hunt in the mornings, guys.
we have them both.
Yep. Sometimes we've set stands where we think it's a great idea, right up to the point to where when
We
it
go
gets
to get in it.
Yeah.
It's like, this ain't gonna work.
yeah.
Can't do this.
I mean, I'll show you guys some pictures here of Mike, basically. He
Yeah.
walks to a position I told him to go to, got there, assessed it. I gave him multiple positions to choose from. Wind wasn't right, he turned around and walked right back out. And if he wouldn't have, he wouldn't have shot the deer he shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how it is. It's pretty simple layout that way. Alright.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for listening, you guys. We appreciate the questions. You guys get a chance, subscribe and like the channel here. If you want to listen to the podcast, go to rss.com and punch in The Obsession, and that'll bring you right to our podcast. I do believe you have to sign in now, though, right, Mike?
Yes, I just signed in actually today.
Yeah, you have to sign in to get into rss.com. There should be, I think there's a general search on there too, but if you punch in The Obsession, once you get to the search, it'll bring up all the podcasts that are there. Currently, that's supposed to feed us through our Spotify. Apparently, the Spotify is not taking that, so we'll have to search into that. I'll check on that for you guys. When we get that up and running here this week, so you guys can check it all out on Spotify. But thanks for listening to The Obsession. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Thanks, have a good one.
We'll talk